Hi everyone and welcome to the course Advanced Acceleration, Business Execution, but before test, budget and then launch. And this is the part A of this module. This module is offered by the Erasmus Plus program and under the KA2 Capacity Building in the field of higher education. And the project title is Connecting Universities with Industry through Smart Entrepreneurial Cooperation and Competitive Intelligence of Students in Moldova, Georgia and Armenia. This is Dr. Paraskevi-Gyurka and this video is for part A of Module 4. We are going to talk today about launching a startup and about growth hacking. Successful implementation of any startup project requires careful planning of a range of activities. Planning and forecasting techniques such as financial planning and budgeting often proves a great challenge for the founders. However, founders need to embrace financial planning methods and implement them along all the way from before launching their project to business growth. The startup finances is a simple, non-academic approach that explains different topics that relate to financial matters that a newly established team or company encounter. This training module is for startup entrepreneurs who are working towards realizing a business idea and have initiated the process of designing the business launch, and this is part A of this module. And then in part B, we're going to talk about the financial models. The training material provides an introduction to the relevant finance theory, as well as useful links for the experiential learning and resources for further reading. By the end of this module, students will be able to understand the steps for launching a business, to understand the relationship of business planning with business viability, and understand the relationship of forecasts with raise of funds. Launching a startup always comes with a series of challenges, such as limited resources, not knowing what exactly to do, finding the right idea, and hiring and managing a team, and also attract customers. Launching requires careful consideration and planning. Testing the business idea before launching is key to validate its business model. Launching, however, is related to taking actions that contribute to learning and avoiding the risk of financial losses. The absence of a concrete go-to-market plans or else a launching strategy means that the founders have forgotten one of the most critical elements for successful implementation, and that is how to get your product in the market. A mentor's role is to help the mentees quickly understand the importance of assessing the implementation parameters with enough scrutiny and bring the business model canvas or any other tool or method used to test before the new company is exposed to high risks. On the flip side, the best judge of the original hypothesis is of course the market itself. So, under the Lean Startup methodology, you need to get fast in the real market and receive feedback as to have the build-measure-learn relationship work for you. But that does not mean that you have to enter the business game eyes closed. Startups tend to assume that their idea is going to be a huge success, ending to risk large amounts of money and time and other resources. Testing the business idea is often skipped because of the rush to launch. But when the business model or the business plan is missing, then the launch is without a proper roadmap. Until the business idea is tested, it is not known who exactly finds the product useful and by what means it is useful to them. Testing the business idea is a necessary step to validate the target market, the need of the market, and the business model. No matter how exciting the business idea may seem, urging you to go for a quick launch, to create a prototype will always help you validate if you're solving the right problem, and if you're building the right product, and how to improve your product or service to address the real need. Building a minimum viable product, which is the simplest form basically of your idea that you can sell as a product. And a minimum viable product is a term brought by Eric Ries, the author of the Lean Startup book. So building this minimum viable product offers a way for you to test the product early in the development process. And this means that any modifications are urged from the feedback of the target customer. Along with your minimum viable product, one needs to determine how much it costs to build it and how much it could sell. This way, you will understand the basic profit margins. It is often that the feedback from the potential customers may indicate a potential small or major shift in the way the product is built. Founders need to be ready to change the product and match better the real need. No matter how much they are emotionally tied to their initial idea, it is the opinion of the end customer that matters in the end. Once you start testing your product in parallel, it is helpful to build a landing page where customers can learn a bit more information about your product. A simple landing page combined with social media campaigns will help in monitoring the number of people that are interested and the number of people that click through the ads and going directly to your website to learn about your product. A marketing plan is a necessary tool in order to create the necessary response from the market and assess if you do have buyers for your product. Brian Clements, a business consultant, sales trainer and speaker, and writer, uses the 100/1000 rule. This rule is writing down a list of 100 things that you can do to market your product. While executing those 100 things, talk to 1000 people about it. It is only then that you can say you have made enough to judge if you have customers for your product. This process will give you enough data and feedback, like who is mostly interested about the product, what marketing is most cost effective, which actions are not, and form a strategy to improve both the product and your marketing strategy. Integrating alpha and beta tests in the broader launching strategy can offer significant help to the business development and marketing teams, since it puts early tests to the mix and helps get perspective that can later be used. Additionally, the alpha and beta users can turn later to advocates of good word of mouth. Especially for betas, a proper campaign is important, having in mind incentives to get them, pricing plans for later, but also how to get and leverage their feedback. Beta tests can be also a critical source of testimonials, as well as momentum generators. The following stages, like launch and expanded launch, follow as the company applies, adds more resources and deploys its full plan. Most of the introductory period with the launching strategy plan aims at serving the minimum viable segment and learning from it. Growing a business might entail various challenges that require different responses. Mistakes in the growing tactics are sometimes the reason why the business didn't manage to thrive. What is important is that each step taken does not create more problems for the future. Some of the most common risks that affect the growth of a business is illustrated below. As market conditions continuously change, a business needs to have the most up-to-date information for making appropriate business decisions. Market research needs to be conducted on a continuous basis and not just once at the beginning of the business launch. Information sources include published information, partners and suppliers, business employees, and gathering information about and from the customers. IT systems may also set up processes to support the data collection and analyze the parameters to understand your customer's behavior. A continuously updated business plan is always necessary as the business grows and the market conditions evolve. To identify new opportunities and build strong relationships with your customers that can ensure your profits, the business strategy needs to adapt. The current success does not necessarily assure that the business will be able to exploit the opportunities that arise. Diversification of the customer base is always a good strategy to spread the risk of relying solely to existing customers. However, all moves need careful planning and an appropriate strategy, reviewing the risks of potential changes into your business plan, but on a constant basis, and planning ahead will help your business develop any necessary contingency plans. The way a business manages its finances is a key element in planning ahead and assessing new business opportunities. To maximize cash flow, a business needs to carefully control the working capital and undertake effective supplier management. It is often that when a business grows, additional funding may be required for ensuring the business expansion, and this additional funding may be requested by a series of other sources like business angels, venture capitals, other corporate entities. Thank you very much for watching the Advanced Acceleration Business Execution but Before Test Budget Launch Part A. Join us on the webinars of the whole module. Thank you.